Okay, now, ready? All right, let's do this. How I got this deep into the car scene in Japan? Well, sit down and listen, kids, because this is a doozy. I decided to start a new series on my YouTube channel that talks not only about the car, but also the people behind the cars. And I didn't really know who to experiment on, and I thought that the best person to do so would be me. And I chose my GTR 35 to be part of this video, and me to be, the person behind the car. When I came to Japan originally, I wasn't even thinking about cars. Like, not at all. I've always been interested in cars ever since I was a kid. I wasn't in the most fortunate situation growing up. And I remember I used to play these role-playing games, pen and paper, Dungeons and Dragons and Vampires the Masquerade and so on and so forth. What got me into cars really was dreaming about cars that I would own, or my characters in the game would own. And my friend knew about cars more than I did at that time. And he would help me out modify these cars that my characters had in game. That's really what got me into cars. And what got me into JDM specifically was acquiring through somewhat shady means. I stole it. I stole a freaking magazine from a magazine stand, and it was a JDM magazine. I don't remember what it was. And it had on the cover Fair Lady Z, orange Fair Lady Z 432. Freaking awesome car, like one of my dream cars right now. Hands down, my favorite JDM. I started getting more and more into it. Of course, time passes, dreams kind of like fade away. You don't really think about cars too much. And when I came to Japan, I came here as a historian. I was doing history research. Things changed dramatically during COVID. I lost pretty much the jobs that I had in New York. It was a very tough financial situation. I started teaching English, figuring out how to bring money at home, like whatever I could do really. Kind of worked out, like it put food on the table. Without getting into too much details, I managed to somehow reinvent myself, invest here and there. And when I came back up, I decided to buy something that I really didn't need, but I really, really wanted, which was a car, Alfa Romeo Giulia. In fact, I still have it to this day, and hands down my favorite car that I own. I just didn't know what I was gonna do. I somehow, in my mind, something clicked. I wanted to, get into cars again. I don't really know why. Like something happened. Call it destiny. If I believed in destiny, I would think that was it, but it wasn't. Probably, I don't know. Anywho, call it destiny, call it whatever you want. I get the car. I go to Daikoku. I start shooting videos, and a few months later, things pick up on Instagram. I do more and more and more and more. I had never thought up until a certain time then that I would do anything professional when it comes to cars, content or ambassador or whatever, like nothing related to cars. But it did happen because once I was growing on Instagram, I started thinking to myself, what is it that I can do to make something that is professionally acceptable happen? Like, I don't want to just shoot videos for the sake of shooting videos. Instagram doesn't pay here in Japan. And I don't mean it doesn't pay much. It doesn't pay, period. So it doesn't matter how many views you get, 1 million, 30 million, still you don't get paid through Instagram alone. So you have to do something else. At the same time, I didn't want to be an Instagrammer. So I had to figure out something else. Instagram is good. It got big. I'm still very focused on social media. I love it, but it is not what I want my professional image to be like. So what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Well, you know what? I could do media. And, I have a journalism background. I fairly well worded. I wanted to write. It seemed like a very normal transition. So I started covering events. And then, well, things changed again. The reason why I chose the GTR for this video in particular, not maybe the Alfa Romeo Giulia, because the Alfa Romeo Giulia is effectively the car that I'm emotionally the most attached to. It changed my life. But I chose the GTR because the GTR was a true dream of mine. And there is a very cool story behind all of that for me, because for years, while I was here in Japan, I had an entry on my calendar that popped every month. And that entry asked me, can you afford a GTR yet? And this thing came like a mantra every time. can you afford a GTR yet? Can you afford a GTR yet? Can you afford a GTR yet? Like mocking me, and I still couldn't afford any GTR. One day I gave up. I decided to remove that entry, and I didn't want to see it anymore, and I didn't know whether I would ever be able to do it. Life is funny that way because, you know, life be lifing, and 2 months or a month and a half after I deleted that entry, lo and behold, you know, things changed massively and positively. I was able to afford a GTR, and I found the perfect GTR for me, which is this one. I dreamed about having a GTR for years, many years, well before coming here. And by GTR, I meant GTR 35. GTR 35 is not my favorite car among GTRs. My favorite GTR is the GTR R33. But the GTR R35 represented something for me that even the GTR R33 didn't. It was a goal, it was an objective, it was something that I've wanted for such a long time, since as far back as I can remember. Looking at magazines, looking at when he broke every record of the Nürburgring, like, it was for me a dream car more so than the 33 was. So being able to obtain one was for me a big step. It made sense that no other car would fit this video better than my GTR R35. And it's red, baby. Red cars are faster. The same car is also a constant reminder that, yes, I did work my ass off, but sometimes I even got lucky. There is a signature on my car. It's by Hiroshi Tamura, Tamura-san. He's the father of the GTR, definitely the father of the GTR R35. And I met him at a car meet. There is a whole story on YouTube. By the way, yes, shameless plug, go watch those videos. And he is the one that introduced me to the PR and Nissan. He is the one that was instrumental in me being able to drive my first Nismo. And my first Nismo, dude, was the GTR R35 2024 Nismo Special Edition, baby. Like, it was such a crazy experience. And when I did get my first 35, I couldn't not get a signature. And Hiroshi Tamura, he's very friendly with me. I wouldn't go as far as say that he's a friend of mine, because I consider him a friend, of course, but, you know, he's up here and I'm way down there in comparison. So I don't want to say he's a friend, but he's definitely a senpai. He's definitely somebody that I look up to, and he's definitely somebody that I can learn a lot from. So having the car signed by him is a constant reminder that, yes, I worked hard, but there is a little bit of luck that was involved as well. And granted, I did grasp that luck. I'm not trying to tell you that if you're not lucky, you're not going to make it. I'm not trying to tell you that if you're lucky, you are going to make it. Because chances are that if that's what you think, you will fail. It's just that sometimes a stroke of luck can mean that if you are smart enough and you're fast enough and you are organized enough, you can use that to an immense advantage to become a better person, to become somebody that can bring to the field something that you even yourself didn't expect you could. It's a good feeling. I haven't modified the car yet, but it's happening. Why didn't I do that? Well, because it's still under warranty, dude. I don't know. So if something breaks, I would rather have the opportunity to not spend 6 million yen on it when I can avoid doing that. So I'm going to keep it stocked for a while, but trust me, it's going to change. I'm already buying parts. If 10-year-old me could see what I've become, they would never believe it. But my main dream has always been that of being an author. Specifically, I was writing, I finished writing a high fantasy novel. And before the whole car thing started, what I was doing, I was looking for agents and publishers to publish my book. That is my highest dream, is become an author. Because I think that if you become an author, somehow there is a part of you that stays there forever. No matter how successful or unsuccessful you are, if a book is published, even if there is one copy in the world, there is a little bit of you that remains no matter what happens.